Hello everyone, welcome to my home office and library tour. This is the sign that's outside the door before you enter my office/library. The purpose of this video is, well, one, I enjoyed watching other people's home office and library tours, so I thought maybe I'd put in my 2 cents. The other purpose is also, well, I'm always proud of when I can do things really cheaply, and so I'll cover how I was able to get a lot of stuff installed or just set up in my office/library for either free or really, really cheap. And the third purpose is I would love to get some constructive criticisms, any sort of comments or feedback for ways that I could change my room, because I work with a lot of students, and so I get a lot of students and parents who come to my home office/library, and first impressions are important to me, and the best way for me to get an objective first impression, of course, is to ask people who have never seen the room before. So that's the purpose for the YouTube video. So let's go inside and see what the home office/library looks like. So I'm entering from the other basement room. This is a basement room. It used to be, the former homeowner used it as just an extra bedroom. So there's actually, the door over there goes to a full bathroom. There's a shower and everything in there. But anyway, so let me just give you kind of a scan of the overall room before I take you on the tour, so to speak. So got my bookshelves. It's basically a pretty simple setup. I just have my books that line the walls, and then my working desk. So a couple of things. This shelf actually is a shelf that hides a closet or storage, and I built this shelf. There's actually a separate video. So I got my computer printer. A lot of times I just keep it open, but when parents and students come in for me to work with them, I keep it closed. But there's actually a separate video on how I built that shelf. And again, the second purpose of this video was, I'm always psyched about when I can tell anyone that I built something really cheaply. And so that bookshelf was 100% free. Lots of dumpster diving and using junk laying around the house, including abandoned junk like paint that the previous homeowner left when they moved out. I was able to build that. So if you're interested in more detail, you can watch the video that I made on how to build that, because there's some, I think they're called Murphy doors. There's some kits where you can make those doors, to hide a secret room, and those kits, couldn't believe it, some of them are like $1,000. It's really expensive. So it's pretty psyched that I built the entire thing for free. And it's not perfect, but I think it's passable. So what do you guys think? Anyway, let's see, other features, especially cheap features. So just about every bookshelf in this room was free. So that bookshelf was free. My neighbor left it on the curb, said I could take it since it was left on the curb for garbage. Those 2 bookshelves were actually dark brown. I had a relative living in my basement in my former house, and when they moved out, they just, they said, hey, you want these 2 bookshelves? So I took them and I painted them. Didn't do the best job. I guess you can see some of the paint is kind of scraping off a little bit. It's hard to, I'm has to put 5 coats on these 2 bookshelves because they were so dark. But anyway, they were free, so it was worth it. And they're very sturdy too. These are pretty heavy textbooks, and there's no bend to them because of the way the shelves are actually made. So I'm pretty psyched. So I imagine they're pretty expensive bookshelves. What else? The books. Some of you may wonder. I love. I guess I'm a book collector, but I just generally have not thrown away books, and I like reading and rereading them. Every single book in here, I am proud to say that I have read. Or at least skimmed. I'll say that to be realistic. What else? And I will never, ever pay more than 99 cents for a book. I get most of my books for free as a professor. I have access to all the different publishing houses, and so if something comes out, then I'll just order it, desk copies and samples. And so that's why most of my books are textbooks. Especially, I teach in a business school, so I teach a lot of finance and economics related topics. So that's why a lot of my books are, and the students I work with, basically college consulting. So helping students get into colleges. So that's why a lot of these books are in the subject area that they are. I'm not gonna in this video. I'm not gonna go through how the books are organized in my room, but I would love some tips and suggestions. Maybe this whole stacking books on the floor thing. Like for example, that's my U.S. history stack. Okay. Which is next to another genre of U.S. history books, which is leaders in U.S. history, and then hypothetical developments in U.S. history, etc. But anyway, I said I wasn't going to go into categories, but I would love to hear some suggestions about what to do with the books, especially if you think that stacking them is looks bad. Because I would like to I'd like to know, what do parents, especially parents and students who come to my workspace for the first time, what their first impression is. What else? Oh, so my degrees or diplomas proudly displayed on the floor. I guess behind the stack. That stack is about teaching special children with special learning disability, special needs. Let's see. Oh, my work desk, of course. So these two chairs, Goodwill, $17 each, which I hate spending money, but $17 if you bought those chairs brand new, then you spend a lot more. I think around 75, maybe $100. The glass, this is a shower door that, again, was being given away for free. There's a great site called nextdoor.com. And so, people who are just cleaning out their garages are always just putting stuff up there, either selling it dirt cheap, pennies on the dollar prices, or they're just giving it away because they want to get rid of it. So that glass tabletop, which is an awesome piece of glass, and though it is a shower door glass, so obviously it's very thick and strong, it's clear, but also there's no holes in it, because most shower door glass has the holes for the handle, and so this is just one complete whole piece, which is awesome. The desk frame, free. Someone was getting rid of it. It's an IKEA frame, actually. I noticed the sticker right here. Maybe I can turn upside down. I don't know if you can see it. Bicant, I guess, is the model. It's an IKEA frame, which goes for, I looked it up, it was 200 and something bucks. And the person who was giving it away, I guess it didn't have a top to it, so maybe that's why they were giving it away. But anyway, I removed one of the legs so that I could put this filing cabinet here, and I found a filing cabinet which conveniently has like a little supply drawer. Let's see what else. Oh, the Bungee Chair, I love it. So this one was, I think, 12. It wasn't in the teens, so it's either 11 or 12 bucks at Goodwill. Very comfortable. Because I'm a professor and I spend a lot of time, if I'm not teaching, for example, using my cheap document camera, which I made a separate video on that too, but I spend a lot of time just sitting there staring at the computer screen. So yeah, I've got one of those careers. So that Bungee Chair is the best chair I've ever used in my entire career. I used to be a corporate cube rat in the 80s. And I've been sitting in who knows how many different office chairs, and I've never had a comfortable one. Until this, I found this Bungee Chair, so I love it. Plus, I think it looks, looks okay. It's black, it's consistent. Either black or white. This is the white side of my room, I suppose. Okay, so everything, the bookshelves, everything is kind of brighter and white. And then over here, the only reason why I didn't paint the bookshelves white is because it would have been too much of a pain in the neck, and I'm too lazy to remove all the books and paint them white. Every single bookshelf here, let's see. This bookshelf was free. It's very tall, as you can tell. It goes from floor to ceiling. I even had to cut the legs off to get it so that I could upright it in my room. I had to put it on its side to get it through my French doors, and then you don't have to be a geometry whiz to know that as you upright it, because of the width of this, then it's going to hit the ceiling. So I had to cut the legs off, and even still had to lift the ceiling a little bit when I uprighted that bookshelf. But that bookshelf was completely free. Somebody was getting rid of it on nextdoor.com. Very sturdy too. Love the way the shelves are designed. That French door, by the way, is something I installed myself too. So which was the cheapest way to do it. So I bought it at Home Depot. I think it was 270 or so bucks. It was the cheapest French door I could find. And as I mentioned, this room used to be a spare bedroom in the basement by the former homeowner. And so it was one of those 1970s, sliding glass patio door things. And so I put in these French doors, which I love, and it gives me a nice view as I'm working, sitting here working, look outside. Yeah, I put a little bird feeder, $1.50 at Goodwill. I put a little bird feeder out there, so that's kind of fun. The same family comes and feathers their nest every, I guess it's fall and winter. let's see, what else? Oh, these two chairs. So when I mentioned I work with students, and when parents come in, or sometimes they'll want to also sit while I'm having a session with the students. And so those two chairs, I got them for, it was in the teens. So I want to say like 16, 17 bucks each, I think. But anyway, they're a lot more expensive if you buy them brand new. I can't remember. Did I already describe them? Anyway, so thank you for watching the video. I would love to hear any suggestions on what to do. If you think stacking the books on the floor looks messy and unprofessional, I'd love to hear that. If you have some suggestions on, get rid of that bookshelf or install something in the corner, I'm open to that. But my only constriction, I suppose, is I'm cheap. And so I've of course thought of maybe redoing some of the bookshelves, because as you can see all these bookshelves, as I mentioned, all these bookshelves were free. And so these four along the back wall are kind of, you can tell they're cheap. Plus the shelves are kind of sagging a little bit. And I guess it's because of the weight of all the books. They were even tilting a little bit. And so for me to get the shelves to kind of line up right next to each other, and they don't line up perfectly, as you can see here. See, there's a gap. Maybe I just need to push it like that. Yep, see, these are cheap. Okay, but at least they do the job. All right, but yeah, there was a gap here, so I had to literally like I screwed these in here. They're not very conspicuous, okay, but I screwed them together so there wouldn't be a continuous gap there. But anyway, thanks again for watching, and I would welcome any and all comments.